This week we are giving away a spaceship parts carrier. Stay tuned to the end of the show to find out how to win. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Blue Ridge Bonfire, the official weekly update show of Blue Ridge Overland Gear. We are all about overcoming the obstacles, getting outside. I'm CT.
No.
One more time.
No.
We can't hear you, Dean. I know this is the way, but we really can't hear you. You gotta lose the helmet.
All right, fine. But I'm not taking off the shirt.
So last week we released our first cooking show,
Yes.
Scottle Popcorn.
Scottle popcorn. We have the squirrels still eating the popcorn. We think they're addicted now. We're not really sure what's going on, but you know. The other thing last week was we teased something. Matt and his team of research and development squirrels were very busy, and they developed dun, 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 a Blue Ridge Overland Gear Map Folio. So this is a prototype. This is basically kind of what we're thinking about. All right, so it's gonna hold a lot of maps. It's gonna have high-vis interior, and we are doing a pre-sale of this map folio. We will have the final design photos in there, what the specs are and all that kind of stuff. So click the link somewhere here. This is the prototype, so don't judge it on this. But we are gonna do a pre-sale of a Blue Ridge Overland Gear edition map folio, because you guys begged for it and we heard you.
So again, that pre-sale is only running for 1 week. That's gonna end on the 20th, and then those will be shipping out on the 29th, so you have only 1 week to order, and then that's it.
So
and
all of you people,
down. You can't get them anymore.
All of you people that begged for one, time to put your money where your mouth is. So speaking of trip navigation resources, the last 2 episodes we talked about the maps and some of the, real life, you can touch it kind of resources. We got a couple questions pertaining to digital resources. So Relic on YouTube asked, what is a good source for GPX or KML files, or do I have to create my own?
Ben Terwellen on YouTube asked, what are the best iPhone apps for various trails and parks and stuff inside the US? So we're definitely gonna answer that as well, going into the digital resources here.
And then at Aubrey B. Taylor 3 on Instagram asked, after plotting your course on the paper maps, what is the best app device system for having that electronically in a navigation aid? Well, Aubrey, Ben, and Relic, this next segment is for you, because basically we're gonna look at some online and digital resources, some ways to integrate all of those various things into a web portal. And then those web portals then can push to phone apps or devices like the Garmin Overlander.
Without further ado,
all right, so picking up kind of where we left off in the previous series, the first thing we're going to go to is ridebdr.com. That is the official website for the Backcountry Discovery Route series. So you can see here they have this really cool map, and it is interactive. So if we click on it, so each state that has a BDR route is colored, and then there's kind of a white squiggly line. So if we'll zoom in here, you can kind of see how the Arizona BDR ends, and they got this connector route to the Utah one. Is we want to figure out how we can save this GPX file. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the Backcountry Discovery Route website. We'll go over here to GPS tracks. So we'll scroll down here to Utah. All right, and it says download tracks and connectors. We'll do that. And then here you can actually select whether you want just one. So we could select just Utah if we wanted, or we could select Utah and Arizona. We can go down here to connector routes, and we can do Utah to Arizona connector, or go over the whole kit and caboodle, download them all, and then you will get a GPX file that you can save and import into your devices or your navigation apps, which we'll kind of do that in a second. So like I said, if we go back to the map, I said previously, we were talking about the top of the world trail, which is right here near Dewey Bridge, but it's not on the map. Like I can scroll here, and because it's not a BDR trail, it's not on their map, so it's not part of their GPX file. So the question is, where can we go to get that? And that's where this website comes into play, traildamage.com. Now, traildamage.com is probably the go-to resource for anybody that's going to Colorado, and Utah. It is a membership site, but it's only $1 a month. And for the amount of information on here, it is well worth it. So we're going to click here on all Utah trails. If you just scroll down, you're going to see here is a list of every single trail that they've got information on in alphabetical order. So we're going to scroll all the way down here to the bottom for top of the world. We're going to click top of the world, and bam, here we go. Here is the profile for top of the world. So when you click on this link, it's going to give you the option to download that GPX file for top of the world. All right, so we just downloaded the Utah BDR and we just downloaded the top of the world trail. The question is, what do we do? How do we organize them? How do we put these into use? And that's where having an account with something like Garmin, if you have an InReach or an Overlander, or having another app like, say, Gaia GPS comes into play, because those are the platforms that you're going to use to organize your trail data in digital form. Now, the best part is both of those platforms have a web portal. First, we're going to look at the Garmin interface, which is explore.garmin.com. And if we click this map button, it's going to bring us to an interactive map of the United States, okay? And then here, if you go into the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see an inbox and an outbox. If we click the import, okay, the inbox, that's going to open up a way we can import those GPX or KML or even a KMZ file. So we're going to add an import as tracks. I always recommend doing the import as tracks just because you can see got so many more data points compared to just the import as a route. So import as tracks. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a collection, and we're going to call that collection Utah. So we're going to hit next. We're going to click here, and it's going to say, where do we import it from? So we'll go up here, and we're going to do the BDR file first. So BDR Utah, open, and then import. All right, so bam, there it is. There's the entire BDR route from the top to the bottom of Utah. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to add the top of the world trail. So we're going to do the exact same process. So click the import button. Now we already created a collection. We don't need to create a new one. So we're going to add imported items to existing collection. We're going to check Utah. We're going to hit next. We're going to go in here. And then we're going to select top of the world, Utah. That's where we got the off the trail damage website. It's going to load up. We're going to hit import. All right, so now we have the top of the world trail and the Utah BDR loaded into the Garmin website, and that will sync with devices like the Garmin Overlander or the Garmin navigation apps on your phone or tablet. So that's kind of the advantage here, is you can organize stuff digitally and it will sync and push to your other devices and other apps, which makes working from home really nice because you can use the web portal, go to the websites and stuff. Now let's take a look at the Gaia. It's kind of the same idea. So this is the Gaia GPS website. Now I have accumulated a lot of data. That's why mine kind of looks a little bit more populated right now. And then if we zoom in, so now here is the Gaia GPS view of the same area that we were looking at on the Garmin website. This yellow trail here is the top of the world trail. And then this red route here that kind of comes in from the north and exits the south. That is the Utah BDR. So this is kind of how it looks in Gaia. And again, this is how it looks in the Garmin site. Now again, Gaia, when you edit it here on the web portal, it will push and sync to the apps. So you can have the app logged in on multiple devices. It'll push to that. And then it also push from a device to the web portal. So if you go on a trip, you use your Garmin Overlander or the Gaia GPS app and record something, once that device syncs, it will push that information back up to the cloud onto these web interfaces. So you can always have access to that. All right, so another popular online source is also just gonna be your search engine. So here on Google, we can use keywords plus locations to kind of find something. So we wanna find an overland trail. So that's gonna be our keyword, overland trail. And then we can put in a location. So for instance, here in Virginia, you have the Shenandoah Valley. So we can type in Shenandoah, and all of a sudden this thing pops up called the Shenandoah Overland Trail. That kind of sounds cool. So we click that, and then we can get some more information. So there's a website, Off-Road Trail Guide. They've got information on the Allegheny and Shenandoah Overland Trail. There's some YouTube videos out there, so that's a good way to look. Another keyword that we can use is trans. And the most popular one of those is going to be the Transamerica Trail. So we can type that in. And of course, that brings up the coast-to-coast motorcycle route, but you can also do it in four-wheel drive vehicles. So here we have the Transamerica Trail website, and you can kind of scroll down and see the map network for there. And then, here you can download those GPX files from them. Now, Transamerica, you do pay for that, but the data has been updated, that sort of thing. And then again, you can take that GPX file here from the Transamerica Trail, import it into the Garmin website, or import it into Gaia GPS. So like I said, that trans prefix is a very popular naming convention. So now you can put in something like a state name. So Trans New Jersey Trail pops up. All right, that's a very popular route that basically goes through the Garden State. Another popular keyword that you can use is traverse. Traverse. So now you can do kind of the same idea, look for a specific area. So one of the ones I know about is in Georgia. So you have the Georgia Traverse. Another popular keyword is backcountry. Just like, with the backcountry discovery route, we can do that search. So we can do backcountry. Now I know about this one. So this is going to be a mouthful, but Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. So that kind of wraps up, using some keywords and some of the other digital resources out there. Now, to be honest, a lot of these things I found out through word of mouth and being a part of different communities out there. And that's probably the best way to find this kind of information. You've got communities like Overland Bound, American Adventurist, forums like Expedition Portal, Adventure Rider. There's a lot of people out there documenting their trips on YouTube. So a lot of times you just kind of find out about things like that through the community. And then also when you're a member of those communities, you can download those routes if someone is sharing them. And then if you record something, you can export from the Gaia or Garmin interface and share that with the community. So in the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to put all of this into practice, use the resources that we've been talking about with paper maps, use some of these online and digital resources, and actually plan a trip and look at how do we use those resources to calculate things like fuel budget, food, and then campsites and stuff like that. And then the next episode after that, we'll look at, once you do all the stuff digitally, how does it push to the devices? And then how do you use those devices out on the trail? And we're back.
So there was more great questions that you guys had. So this series will be continuing, and we'll continue to answer as many as we can. So that wraps up trip navigation, and that brings us to the weekly giveaway.
Weekly giveaway!
Okay, so last week, what did we give away last week?
The limited edition, 1 of 1, laser cut Molly seat panel in blue.
So who won?
Relic on YouTube. Not only did we answer your question, but you're gonna get this seat panel. So reach out to us on social media or email or direct messenger or send us a squirrel or something like that. We need your information, and we will get this shipped out to you as soon as possible.
Congratulations, Relic.
Yep.
Woo! All right, so this week we are giving away the Spaceship Parts Storage Tote, also known as the Cube Caddy.
The Cube Caddy.
Packing cube carrier, holds packing cubes. You can just organize, all the spare parts, all the stuff for your spaceship just right in there. All right, so Dean, how do people win the Cube Caddy?
Tell us what your go-to Star Wars vehicle would be for your next overland adventure vehicle.
Has to be in the Star Wars universe.
Has to be Star Wars. Can come from books, come from games, come from movies, TV show, cartoons.
It's all fair game.
What is your Star Wars vehicle for a next overland adventure? Just hit us up with that.
Leave us a comment down below, and that will enter you to win the Cube Caddy. We look forward to hearing your entries. So thank you guys for watching and listening, and however you've been checking out this show. I'm CT.
I'm Dean.
And we'll see you guys next time.